down the thought.
J-Mike,
I believe in you.
J-Mike, do you see John McCain in the chat? It says Frank's gonna blow us to smithereens.
I did see that.
I believe in you. J-Mike, do you see John McCain in the chat? Hold on.
Oh.
I want to no Trey. I want to hear it. What is unless Mrs. Barrett is standing by, then you can certainly have a pass this time. But I want to hear it in the voice, the pickup line, all of it.
Yeah, man, that's a good one. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna come up with something. I don't want to just come up with one right off the top of the head, man. I want to get a good one. I know I got one in there.
How about a pickup line that J-Mike can say? Not directly to your wife or anything, just like with the voice and everything.
Let's get real creepy on your first time. 2 minutes in. Hey, tell J-Mike to pick up your wife real quick with something smooth.
Let's get creepy.
Put the headphones on her. Put the headphones on her so she can hear.
Yeah. Well, we went for it. We went right into it and tried to get the pickup lines happening. But I think we'll get one by the time that we introduced Homie. So, anyways, we're live on the open bar. It's FeBREWary. Still, it's the last day. You know what, J-Mike? I like the whole FeBREWary thing, and it's I feel like it fits right with the open bar mold. I feel like it's the deadest time of the year, and I feel like it makes us lively. We all the podcasts, your podcast favorite podcast, got nothing to do, got nothing to talk about, so they come and hang out at the open bar because it's FeBREWary, homie. It's Tuesday. It's 9:30 Eastern ish. And
ish.
Very ish. This Tuesday. We'll get to Frank in a second, but his homie's trying to stay up past his bedtime tonight, and hopefully we can have him around for a little bit at least. J-Mike, though, my main man, my dude, my right hand, because my left hand is my less dominant hand, but my right hand is the better of the two. You are my right hand man. How are you tonight?
Left side, strong side. Yeah. You feeling it? Yes. The Titans moment. Oh man, I'm fantastic. We just shared a moment. That was fantastic. In front of like 5 people. I'm excited. No, like you were saying, it's the end coming up. This is the last show in FeBREWary, and I'm excited because right around the corner, the next time that we have an actual show, it's going to be gearing up for the actual combine. Things will have happened. 40s will have been run. Running backs will run 4.7. It'll be disgusting. We'll get excited because DK Metcalf looks amazing in Under Armour spandex. It's going to be great. So I'm excited. Pretty pumped about the group that we have here. We've got one oldie, couple newbies, and a bunch of heat that's in the chamber. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, the heat is Spanish tonight, hombre. In terms of the Twitter handle, I have no idea about my man's ethnicity, but we can let him share that himself. We'll get into the intros here of everyone that's here tonight. Start with the noobs, and not to mean that in a derogatory way, but Frank, how do you pronounce your last name?
Scanduro.
Okay, Scanduro. I kind of wanted to roll the R's a little bit. Like I didn't know if I didn't know if I wanted to do that Italian or like Spanish style.
I got no Spanish in me.
Well, Frank, yeah, that would be stupid.
Fuego. Just, I wanted to come up with something more clever than hot, so I did Fuego. I don't know why.
What's fire or hot in Italian?
Ooh, Google Translate.
Didn't even look it up.
Man, I don't know. I think you have an opportunity here to take over the game.
Well, I am going to take over the game after we spit some fire here in a little bit.
Indeed, my man Frank. We're so happy to have you on. We've been talking a lot of shit over the last week or so, and it's been I
told you all you have to do is admit that Samoas are the better cookie, and there will be no more beef.
Look,
man.
We've been through this. Yeah, y'all already got me on the 2-hour show last week. We can't.
We done buried the hatchet. Jesse put out that super wonderful tribute, of peace, the olive branch, if you will. And
no, Jesse's a traitor. Jesse's a traitor.
No. Jesse's a peacemaker.
If you go to the Girl Scout cookies and they tell you that there's no more Girl Scout cookies, there's no more Samoas, you just walk away. You don't bring yourself down to the Thin Mint level.
If there's no more Samoas, that's when you dance and rejoice. Because you know what? Nope. You know what? You're bringing out that old hatred in me.
Yeah, J-Mike,
I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the
You know
love.
why there's no more Samoas?
Don't get sucked into that fuego, okay?
Girl Scout cookies. What did Jesse say? All cookies matter. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So let's just move on to Jason so Frank can stop talking about cookies. Jason Tran, my man, my dude that Chicago Fry Night Lines. We've ski-balled together. We've Mortal Kombated together. I've missed you, dude. How you doing?
God, I don't even remember Mortal Kombat.
I don't know. I was just like guessing. It might have been that or Street Fighter. It was a fighting game, and you whooped my ass. I think.
Must have been 20. No, I'm doing great. I think this is my first podcast since the end of Gut Feels. So dipping back in.
One out.
Yeah, exactly. I have to work soon though, so we can skip out the Girl Scout cookie talk. I can't do a 2-hour one like you guys did last week.
Fair. Let's move on to Trey then, right away. The other newcomer to the open bar, wearing the probably the most decadent attire of the night. I'm into it. Everyone else is into it. I'll just speak for everyone else on the pod. No one else has to say anything. I'm enjoying it. I love it. Trey, my dude, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I am happy to be here at the open bar. Got my bourbon here. It's nice and cold. And hey, J-Mike, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Are you the SAT? Because I do you for 3 hours and 45 minutes with a 10-minute break in the middle for snacks.
Okay. I'm not. Yeah.
You sure you don't want me to go back talking about Girl Scout cookies?
No. All Trey Barrett all the time. All Trey Barrett. With a beard like that and a pickup line with that voice, man. I'm sure he was just slaying all over Gainesville. My goodness.
Oh, let's not talk about those stories. let's not go down that road, my friends.
Listen, I would.
We gonna be blowing bubbles and filling out bubble sheets, girl.
Can I see your Tron? Well done.
Number 2 lead only.
Oh.
Yes.
Now I'm getting high thinking about test taking again.
With breaks in the middle, he said.
That was good. For snacks.
I'm just imagining. I can't even imagine.
It's getting hot in here, man.
All right. Give it away from Trey. Can't have my wife listen to this episode anymore.
Yep.
That guy. And shout out to you, Trey, part of the hashtag Kamikaze Live crew. Even though Robbie comes on here with extra disrespectful with his Kansas apparel, you come on extra disrespectful with your Gainesville apparel. It's all love, and I'm happy to have you. And I'm pretty sure soon we'll have to have you back again when we get through that whole kamikaze thing we were talking about. Gabe, I haven't told you about this, but it's probably going to be a month to 2 month span where we're going to just have folks from the Kamikaze League come on. over and over and over. So between Robbie and Bosch and Svoboda and the like, the Svoboda, excuse me, the whole squad, even Clint, even your Bay Clint said he would be up for coming on. So,
well, that just can't be true.
It really is. He said it. Trey was there for it, but it'll be a good time. Anywho, all that being said, I feel like there's been a ton of stuff that we've talked through over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the combine's right around the corner, and truly, we've got a couple directions that I like to either start in. So we can either talk about a few of the crazy free agent thoughts that you guys have, or we can kind of calm down, Frank. I promise you, I'm gonna set you up like a 7-year-old playing t-ball. I'm gonna put that thing on the tee for you, and I'm gonna let you go to work here soon. Okay,
get ready.
Don't you fret. Do you guys want to talk either free agents first, or do you want to talk about the actual rookies first?
Free agents.
Yes. So let me ask this: why? Excuse me. I still feel like the New York Giants are a gold mine of fantasy goodness. I'm not sure if anyone shares that sentiment with me, but between all the weapons that they have, who's the one quarterback that you'd love to see land in New York?
Is that for real? Like there's a, I mean, are we talking about rookies or free agents? Or just like anything ever? Like because I've seen the Russell Wilson thing, and I like what? Like yeah, whatever. You can.
I mean, but how far?
I mean, how far? My point is like how far are we going to speculate here? Like
get weird, just get weird. Who would you like to see there? I think free agents originally, but like realistically. Who could land in New York that would make it exciting? Because I feel like, and maybe you guys differ in that, I really feel like New York Giants are on the precipice of some really disgusting things from a fantasy perspective.
I think they have issues just with as an organization right now. Even with OBJ, you've heard possibly more rumors about that than what they do at quarterback. So I'd be a little worried about losing your. Arguably the best player on your team next to that man with those thighs. But I don't know. A quarterback that would interest me right now. None. Like I don't know. That like the free agency pool isn't like I'm just being realistic, J Mike. Like they're not gonna trade Russell Wilson's not happening. Like that's not happening, right?
No, it's a good dream about it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. You know?
I feel like I'd end up in like Alice in Wonderland, just like some real freaky craziness going on if that happened. Could you imagine Russell Wilson in Shermer's offense?
He'd still be running for his life. That offensive line wasn't like the offensive line got better last year.
Man, I think they got a raw deal because I feel like they were better toward the end of the year than they were in the beginning. In the beginning, they were awful. And you got the crazy Eli face where he had the eyes real big as he was getting up, looking like he was, seeing ghosts or whatnot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy for being excited about it. I don't know.
I don't think, other than Foles, I don't think there's a quarterback in free agency or on another team that the Giants would start over Eli. Now, they could draft Haskins. And that's a whole different ballgame for a whole different discussion. But I don't think there's anybody that they could go pick up in free agency or trade for other than Foles that they would be able to start over Eli.
This is an interesting topic. And, it's funny because I just talked about this on our podcast this past week. And I'm sorry. Hi, my name's Trey, and I'm the wet blanket. But everybody wants to talk about the Giants like it's like this mecca of fantasy goodness upcoming, right? There's this juiciness of all these skill position players. But, we're in a world where there's a decent possibility Beckham gets traded. Maybe it's not a, greater than 50% chance. But what if Beckham gets traded, they invest draft capital, move up, grab Haskins, he's the next Jamarcus Russell. And again, this is kind of narrative street, but is it any more like crazy narrative street than that there's some huge offense and boom for fantasy. You know what I mean? Like it's a real world possibility that they trade Beckham and end up making the wrong decision at quarterback, and then they're dumpster fire. So I mean, man, that's one organization I'm going to be very interested to watch. I really kind of subscribe to, you know, Chris Harris has this perspective of not listening to the echo chamber, right? And we want to believe in all these narratives. Like last offseason, everyone talked about the Seattle Seahawks offensive line was horrible. And it's like, man, you look at some of the guys they picked up and you think that's really not true. And surely enough, they lead the league in rushing this year. So anyway, man, things could get worse before they get better in New York is kind of my thought. So I kind of echo what Gabe was saying.
Oh, I don't know. How do you trade Odell after you just gave him the money last year? Like,
kind of like how Antonio Brown got an extension and now he's being traded.
Well, but he's requesting that. But yeah, I mean, like,
I think you've had some feelers that Odell isn't quite perfect. But this is the thing, though.
If you know you're taking Haskins in the draft, right? No matter what, if you can move up or do whatever you got to do to take Haskins in the draft, why not keep top 5 wide receiver in the NFL for him to throw to? You'd have Saquon, Odell, Shepard, and Evan Ingram, all for Haskins to pretty much grow up with. It's not like Odell's old, Shepard's not old, Ingram's not old, Saquon's going to be in his second year. All 5 of those guys could to blossom into a great offense for the Giants. Well, I don't know why you would trade Odell. To me, it doesn't make sense if they trade Odell.
Yeah, I get where the excitement is, but I think they stick with Eli for at least, another half a year. And at that point, you know, if everything's going to shit, you know, sorry, I don't know if I can swear on this one. I feel like they could move Odell at the end of this year. Like, they have a huge cap hit on this year, but then next year it's a little bit more reasonable for somebody to trade for him. So maybe this year's a mess, and maybe I think they stick with Eli for the beginning at least. And I don't think there's somebody out there that really gets them excited. I mean, I think trading for Rosen, if that's a real thing, would be their best option than drafting one of these rookies. But who knows if that's even a real thing now. But I don't know. I think they blow it with Eli first, and then Odell maybe tries to force his way out of there. But it won't be this year that he gets traded, because it's like $30-something million cap hit if he gets traded. There's no way they can sustain that.
And it might end up being just like a Ravens situation where there's, whether it's, you know, Kyler Murray or Haskins that goes to New York, and whatever happens throughout the year, they're just kind of middle of the road or not quite what they should be. And Eli maybe gets some sort of maybe realistic injury, or in quotes injury, and Haskins gets the rock, whatever, and finishes out the season and impresses like sort of Jackson did, and they make it, and Eli gets traded to some random team and becomes a bridge QB for whatever team that is, or Eli would probably just retire, I think. But I could see that kind of scenario happening. So if we're talking about any kind of realistic QB to be excited about or not be excited about, it would probably be between Haskins and Murray. And I don't understand where else we could really go from there. But I think both of those guys would be exciting.
Do you think they have to give that first-round pickup to Philadelphia for Foles? Do you think Philadelphia takes anything less than a first-round pick? I doubt. I would.
I doubt the Giants do a trade with Philadelphia. And,
I don't think Philly would trade him,
especially a top 5, what are they, 5th, 6th overall pick?
Right.
6th overall pick? Yeah, no way.
Well, I mean, Foles bought his way out of his contract, right? So apparently he has the ability now to be a free agent. So he gets to choose his destination at this point, right? So that could be interesting if he lands there.
Mike, you want to see him come to the Jags?
I'm so glad you just said that, because D-Bro in the chat as well. What up, D-Bro? D-Bro says Foles is going to your team, J Mike. Gabe,
why is it okay? Hold on. Is it
right?
Is this now your team, J Mike?
No, I'm saying D-Bro said that.
So did Frank.
Look, listen. they weren't here. I mean, you weren't here when we were talking about our favorite teams.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You had stepped away pre-show. How do you feel about Nick Foles to the Jags, Gabe?
It's a bridge QB. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
I mean, the bridge to what though? It feels like a bridge to nowhere.
Of course, but that's just how yeah, I know, but that's how franchises work. They can't exactly do that to their fan base. I mean, the Jags might move to London if they start Cody Kessler all year, you know? Like they will just stop coming to games, or even if they put Bortles in there, like how this is a business. Like they have to put some money out there to attract fans to have hope of some sort. I don't know what it is, but something. So I'm not excited about Foles at all. I think it would be purely a business move and just something to hold us over. Or I think to shout out my boy Bobby again, Foles is like a legitimately a serviceable QB2 for the NFL, not fantasy wise, but for the NFL.
Okay, Mike, it's the Jags. The bridge always goes to nowhere.
Yeah. True. I think it's a problem. Two years ago, we had this I was like, man, things are humming. Blake Bortles all of a sudden, smells real nice. He took a shower, and you know what? I think he's been lifting in the offseason. He's looking great. And then Ruggs pulled out from
all downhill.
Just disappointing. The one thing real quick that they shouted out in the chat as well. I think Aton did. What up, Aton? He said if they trade Beckham before June 1st, he's got a $35 million dead cap hit. My goodness.
I think that's only.
They can't do it.
Yeah, but his cap hit for 2019 though is only $21 million, which, if you can remember, is only about $5 million more than the Chiefs paid Sammy Watkins this past year. So when you kind of reconcile it in the terms of free agent wide receiver contracts, and really his if you look at his contract, it's pretty team friendly. He's got a $21 million cap hit next year and $19 million after that, and then after that, after 2020. It's an $8 million dead cap. So if he continues to just be I think about a team. San Francisco has had rumored. I mean, there have been some big names in the football reporting world that are predicting, not just saying it's possible, but predicting an Odell Beckham trade. And so, I think obviously I'm not saying I predicted. I think that'd be a pretty fire take, but it would not surprise me. I would not be shocked at all if I get that ESPN alert on my phone that says Odell Beckham has been traded to, fill in the blank. So it'll be interesting to monitor.
I mean, it's just with that type of trade to happen, you'd think that there's something behind the scenes that's just making it happen that we don't exactly know about. But to project something like that to us seems pretty realistic because we just kind of, I don't know, understand how he is as a person ish, but it's hard to speculate that. Incredibly difficult to speculate that.
I don't know, man. I find.
Also, it's just nuts that like these days, like trades are just so natural for these teams. Like if you ain't it, even though you are, like you're gone.
What if they trade Odell for Russell Wilson?
That'd be crazy.
Deshaun Kaiser, let's go. Didn't he end up in Seattle or no? Did I make that up?
He ended up in Green Bay.
Oh yeah, Green Bay. Never mind. JK, LOL. Who ended up in Seattle? Didn't somebody? Trayvon Boykin? That's disappointing. Never mind. Of TCU fame.
Sounds like an AAF name.
What if they trade?
No doubt.
What if they put together a package with San Francisco where San Francisco sends them Jimmy G?
Ooh.
In some sort of a package after seeing Nick Mullins last year have some success with a terrible receiving core. Listen, we're getting crazy, man.
Hey man, don't besmirch Kendrick Bourne like that. I don't appreciate that.
I'm the hot take guy, and that's way too much. Okay, Jimmy G for Odell. All right, so wait, I just got a trade offer.
Nick
too hot.
I got a
Mullins.
trade
I
offer.
love Nick Mullins.
I need to know y'all's advice.
trade
I already
offer,
know what
Frank?
I'm going to do. I got offered Leonard Fournette and Will Fuller for Christian Kirk, Zach Ertz, and a 2020 second in a tight end premium league. I have Ertz and Christian Kirk. I'm
And
saying
you got offered what?
Fournette and Fuller. I have Ertz and Kelsey on this team too. It's a 1.75 tight end premium league.
All right,
So trade it.
Fournette,
that's a-
Fuller for what?
Pass.
Ertz.
Christian Kirk, Ertz, and a 2020 second round pick.
In tight end premium?
Yeah, 1.75.
Nope. And you say you have Ertz?
I have Ertz and Kelsey. Yeah,
And
Yeah,
and
I'm on the Ertz side.
my
I don't
running
even
back one is probably going to be Geist or McKinnon.
Yikes.
Okay, but don't
wanna
compromise
give rid of Ertz, though.
just because you have Kelsey, like the whole argument of like, well, I'll be fine because I have Kelsey, so then Ertz has a smaller price tag. Like, no, it's just that you have two elite tight ends and y'all still gonna have to pay the price.
Then Ertz
And-
goes down and you're screwed over because you trade him for less than you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and Fournette and Fuller are both kind of low buys, I would think at this point. At least Fournette. I know Fuller had some decent games this season, but he was injured for a lot of it. So I don't know.
This is the same league.
I'm
This is the same
I'm
league
on the
that
Ertz side
Saquon.
easily.
This is the
And tight
same
end
league
premium,
that
especially.
Saquon went for 6 first-round draft picks. And
Oh my god.
Is there any point per carry or anything? If you said that, I missed it.
I don't remember. I don't know. I'm in so many leagues. Let's see.
So here's the deal. I'm not trying to spit fire at you guys, specifically, but
Trey, let's
I've-
go.
so
You get 1 point, or you 0.01 for every rushing attempt.
0.01.
Yeah,
That's okay.
or 0.1.
So-
0.1. You get 0.1.
Oh,
So
0.1. Okay.
0-1. That's
0-1.
0.01 is kind of pointless. But
So-
that's fine.
So here's my view on Zach Ertz, right? I like Zach Ertz. He's a good tight end. Don't mishear me. I'm not saying he's not good. But you're talking about a guy who's got 6 years in the league, okay? The prior to this past year, he had 3 800-yard seasons and averaged like around 5 touchdowns. This last year on 156 targets, 116 catches, which is like 40 more than he's had his entire career in a year. He went for 1,160 yards, 8 touchdowns. The Eagles, who've got Carson Wentz down the road, they're going to have to re-sign. They've got a lot of young guys on great contracts, but those guys are going to need to be re-signed. He's on a contract that's pretty easily to get out of after a year. Zach Ertz is a sell for me right now, especially in a tight end premium league, because he just put up a monster season. Monster. I bet in that league, I don't know what quarterback scoring is like, but I bet he probably was top 20 in the entire league across all positions, maybe top 15.
Him and Kelsey were 11 and 12.
Yeah. So to me, he's never, and I don't think this is hot, he's never going to be the number 12 player in that league scoring again in his career. And so Leonard Fournette on the flip side, I still believe in the talent, and I don't think that Jacksonville has the only way that Leonard Fournette doesn't get a ton of work in Jacksonville this next season is if they trade him. And that could end up being the best thing for both parties. So Leonard Fournette, for me, dropping down to the mid-third round of startup ADP is becoming a value, a generational talent that has struggled with injuries. I mean, it's not without risk, but if I could get a first instead of a second, I would probably seriously consider that, because I just don't know that Ertz is going to get 156 targets and catch 116 footballs again.
I wasn't getting a pick. I wasn't getting a pick in that trade at all. I was just.
You were giving the pick.
I was giving
totally on the wrong side there.
Yeah, I think if you could get a pick on Fuller's a guy I like a lot.
I do too. I had Deshaun Watson in that league too.
So I'll be honest, man. It's really not as big of a gap for me. And again, because I feel like I could. That's an opportunity to sell high on Ertz and buy low on both Fuller and Fournette. So it's a lot closer for me, and I probably would try to find a counter to sell high on Ertz. That's my 2 cents, man.
Yeah, I got a couple people that are asking about Ertz in that league. So
if you're really considering trading Ertz, you're gonna find something better than that trade that you mentioned. But I don't know. I mean,
Yes, no doubt.
Ertz is entering basically tight end prime, isn't he? And he's already had good seasons. I mean, great in terms of tight ends, I guess. But I don't know. I just feel like you could get a better deal from that.
Yeah, I think, Trey, to your point, and Trey, I think that's combining what you and Trey said together a little bit. If you are going to sell Ertz at the peak of his powers right now, right, then ideally I'd like to think that he specifically in a league that's 1.75 per reception for tight ends, I like to think that what you could get back is greater than a third round startup, right? Because at that point, you're basically saying Ertz is a top, I don't know, 15 asset probably in that league total, like something of that nature. I'd like to think.
Yeah, what do you go in Trade Addicts? I think he went at second round, like 207 in Trade Addicts 5 in the startup I'm in. What do you do in TA6? Do you remember?
Nope, but I'll look it up right now.
But I bet Fournette wasn't probably that far behind, right? I mean,
I don't remember where Fournette was, but I remember Outhouse saying that he thinks Ertz went in the third round in Trade Addicts 6.
And here's the thing too, Trey, about that league. So in Trade Addicts, so I think it's start 10 total. It's super flex, tight end premium 1.75 per reception for tight ends, but also it's just like Kamikaze, where you only have to start one of each position and the rest are flex. So if you're talking
he's a strong flex.
Yeah, he's a super.
No, I don't have him in Trade Addicts 5. I'm just saying. I think in Trade Addicts 5 he went like 208. What I'm saying is, so you're already dropping value when you take in Fournette, and then you're giving up Christian Kirk, I guess Kirk and Fuller are both injury prone so far in their careers.
Yeah, Ertz went 308 in TA6.
But y'all had like a shit ton of quarterbacks go, huh?
I mean, but I'm finding that that's just the thing now in Superflex period, is that quarterbacks are going to go early and they're going to go often, it seems. But yes, we did have a lot of quarterbacks go, but I don't think that's
that's a whole round later in Trade Addicts 6 than it was in Trade Addicts 5, which is crazy because they started like 2 days apart.
I guess
and Fournette went in the 6th round, FYI. So
holy cow!
So Ertz goes to 308. Fournette goes to 6.
Fournette's a buy for cheaper than what that trade's going for.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
The way he's being sold at that price, it makes him appear as if he's like nearly level with Ertz, and just value wise, he's just not. Maybe he is as like a player, how that maybe that owner perceives him.
Maybe if it was,
you just got to respect.
If it was Ertz for Fournette, Fuller, and a pick, it's probably something you consider. But to add Christian Kirk and add a pick on my side as well, that's
crazy, bro. I mean, in that league, in that scoring format that you're talking about, Ertz was the number 13 player in the league last year.
In the league,
I guess the moral
overall, not just tight, not tight ends.
No, that's way quarterback.
The moral of the story for me is pull up on whatever site you use to look at stats and look at Zach Ertz's career annual statistics and see what a ridiculous outlier last year was. And if you want to convince yourself that's the new normal, that's totally fine. But I just think it's last year the Eagles spent the 49th overall pick in an organization that is well run. They spent the 49th pick in the NFL draft, a top 50 pick on a tight end, knowing that they have Zach Ertz, so they're paying $12 million a year. So I just, fast forward 18 months, I don't want Zach Ertz on my team if he's fetching the kind of value, and that kind of tight end. Like this past year, he was a huge asset to have on your roster, but I have a hard time believing his value will ever be higher than it is right now. And if we fast forward 12 months, I think it could be, and likely will be, probably 2 rounds lower. So even if you don't take this deal, I love the idea of moving Zach Ertz in that format.
I agree with you, Trey, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm with you for the right reasons. I guess. I mean, I see your point to where, you know, he had a few, he had 300 more yards, it looks like, and nearly 40 more receptions. But I mean, how long have we been talking about Zach Ertz to do this? and it seems like this is one of his first seasons where he could actually play all of the games to where he could do it. And maybe it helped that Jeffrey was kind of injured here and there, but we've been expecting this for a long time. Like we certainly thought he could do it. It was just a matter of when he would do it. And so I think it's totally, and like what Tran was saying, like this is the tight end prime, like 28, 29 is perfect for tight ends. And he's 28 going into this year, 29 or whatever. And so this is great. And yeah, I'm totally with it as far as them drafting a tight end, but we also know about tight ends kind of, though he did have a great first rookie year. So it kind of makes you sweat a little bit, I suppose. But typically, you know, you're looking at 2 or 3, 4 years for tight ends to actually make an impact. And I think that would land perfectly in a couple years for Zach Ertz to get out of their contract or possibly a trade that can happen. But I like the idea of a sell high on Zach Ertz, especially because you have Kelsey. But there's no way that you should let him go for something that is minimal just because you have Kelsey. And especially, like, do you want to put all your chips on Fournette at this point when he's a buy low? No. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know.
And the cherry on top of all that, if you're continuing to try to read tea leaves, as we like to do in the fantasy community, Trey, to your point, after this 2019 season, Eagles have a potential out with Zach Ertz.
Right.
Who did they draft last season? Dallas Goedert. They like Dallas Goedert a lot. He got on the field a lot last year, right? So after the season, they have a potential out where they only have looks like 6.5 in dead cap if they cut him after this season. So this is probably, while the production is fantastic, so if you're a competing team, I think it'd probably be hard to move him in this type of format. Not difficult in terms of finding a trade partner, but difficult in terms of losing the production for your team. But this is this is a really, really interesting risk in terms of how he sits on the team right now.
Y'all are really killing his trade value right now. Okay.
Really?
Indeed.
My opinion carries zero influence on people's actual value. As a matter of fact, people listening are probably like, I heard what Trey just said. Let's go buy Zach Ertz.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I wonder if I can get Zach Ertz, please.
Who is this Joe?
I don't think. I mean, I think there's things that like make it go up and down, but I really think it's just level at where it is. Like he can have another year or two in Philly, but like also he doesn't have to be in Philadelphia to be a really good tight end.
No,
there are 26 other teams in the NFL that need a tight end.
You guys know where Zach Ertz landed on the NFL this year in total targets?
Probably, I would
among
say
all positions.
All positions? Nope, not sure.
third.
He was 6th. So
156. Yeah, that's high.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, like I said, I like again, maybe this isn't the right deal. I like Zach Ertz, and honestly, I've got the same argument for sell George Kittle. You know, like these guys get these massive bumps in targets because of the circumstances they're in with a limited amount of weapons around them available, and you know, situations change regularly. So you know, when you get a 1 year, you know, massive boon in targets. I think it just indicates an opportunity. And, you know, again, I mean, that's me, man. I look at my dynasty teams like it's the stock market. And, you know, if it's, I mean, I'm the kind of guy that's going to consider selling Saquon or Patrick Mahomes in Superflex, because if people are just paying this ridiculous amount of, I mean, each of those guys are one injury or one bad news story away from their dynasty value plummeting. So, you know, if their value can go nowhere but down, if they're the, you know, stone lock, you know, top pick, why not at least evaluate what you can get for them? And that could be wrong. And, you know, but again, it's a game, man. It's fun. You know, making trades like this and negotiating trades like this is why we play Dynasty, right?
That's a fact. to, and let me ask you guys this: and major shout out. we've talked a lot about the Trade Addicts leagues at the moment. Major shout out to the fellas over at Trade Addicts podcast, Russ and Brian. Obviously, Gabe, you got to spend some time with Russ this past weekend over in New York. I do want to read this off to you guys real quick in terms of how the tight ends come off the board. And Trey, I think this may speak to your point as well, in that with Travis Kelce went at 208. Right after him, George Kittle went at 209. If you look a year back, we're looking at Kittle being a guy that people like, but I don't know that anybody foresaw leading the San Francisco 49ers in receiving and being like a major target hog and all these other things, right? And then Zach Ertz, and further to that point, if we rewind the clock, it's Evan Ingram who's in a position last year, in 2017 now? Yeah, 2017, where he's getting targeted like crazy. There's not many other weapons around him. People are getting hurt left and right, and lights the world on fire. And then 2018 comes back to earth to some degree. So I find tight end incredibly interesting because I think there's a slew of about, 10 guys, 8 to 10 guys that a lot of people like to some degree, whether it be somebody all the way up to like Travis Kelce or coming down to the Hunter Henry, Eric Ebron. Hey, we're not quite sure what they'll be, but we really want to invest in them quite a bit. I find it all interesting. What were you saying, Frank?
I don't remember.
You just have to cut off my diatribe sometimes. I apologize. Very good. Very good. Frank, is it time that we let you loose a little bit? Is that okay if we?
You want to start with the first?
Is it possible that we just sit back for the next, 15 to 20? We all just go refill the cocktail. The chat can hang around if they'd like, and Frank just hits us with the.
This is what I'm here for. I want to spit it. I'm going to start at the lowest level possible.
Okay.
And we're going to work our way up to the big the Samoas of Fuego takes.
Blah blah blah.
We're going to work our way all the way up.
Are we in Celsius, Fahrenheit, or Kelvin? That's what I'd rather know.
We're in Kelvin.
Kelvin. Right. I'm gonna have to Google how to measure that.
I don't know. It just sounded like it was the hottest.
I wasn't ready for you to actually answer that.
I know. I want him to say Kelvin.
I don't. Kelvin sounds like it's hotter than Fahrenheit, so I'm just gonna go.
I know Kelvin is much higher. I think it's like 400 something, equivalent to like 100. Don't quote me on that at all. But
Trey's already touched on two things I'm going to talk about as well.
So real quick, Frank, before we do you want to introduce this, or is it appropriate if someone else, I don't know, like Trey Barrett in his super sweet holla at me voice?
No, I want Trey to give me the sweetness. I want Trey to put his touch on it to intro me into it.
So Trey, I'll let you think for a second, but what we need right now is, and I don't know that we've ever done like a segment specifically for someone since like the summer of Kai, Gabe. I mean, it goes all the way back to the Kai Missioner. Shout out to Kai. We need an introduction right now because this segment is going to be all about Frank's hot takes, Frank's heat. He's going to spit his flames, and then we'll just get a chance to react to them accordingly. So, Trey, if you can, bless us. Bless the people, bless the podcast listeners, bless everyone in the chat. Appreciate all you guys being here with your beautiful baritone voice of smooth, buttery goodness of an introduction, and go.
Ladies and gentlemen, mostly ladies, I'm going to introduce my esteemed colleague, Frank Scanduro, and he is going to bring some hot lava. Okay, this is, you know what? I can't even, there is no words to even prepare you for what you're about to hear. So, Frank, I'm going to break it to you like this. My love for you is like diarrhea. I just can't hold it in.
Amen, brother. Amen.
He says amen.
Hit us with some.
He's like, yes.
Hit us with
Shit
some
me
calm
out, baby. Don't shit me
takes.
out.
That's the only appropriate response to being called love like diarrhea. It's just amen.
So-
Amen, brother.
Not so we're here all night. I will run through these sort of quick. We'll get some touches on. I'll go one at a time and let y'all give a little rebuttal and see what y'all think. The first brand new smoking hot fuego take. Damian Williams,
Oh, God.
Kansas City Chiefs running back, will have 1,280 all-purpose yards and 13 touchdowns in 2019.
All right.
You
It's
heard it
been a
here.
good show, everyone. Thank you for watching the open bar. We have shirts on sale. And thanks, guys, for being guests. And put your drinks up and cheers. And
Wait, Gabe. That's
yeah.
just the first one. We got that.
I know.
7 more
That's
to
what
go.
fucking worries me about what we're about to go through. Like, I'm already
You
fucking
signed up for
steaming.
this. You signed up for this. You hear me?
So no. Let's hit this one real quick because I'm curious what
We've
Tran and Trey have to say
Talk
about it.
about Damian Williams every fucking week, J. Mike.
And with the
Because-
63rd pick of the NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select David Montgomery, running
my
back,
God.
Iowa State.
Not
Oh my
happening.
God! Somebody check on Frank. Where's Frank? Somebody call Frank and make sure
There's-
he's
there's-
okay.
There's many of my hot takes that have failed. I said Kyle Rudolph was going to be the tight end one last year.
It's fair
So-
that it's hot. At least it's
I
hot.
am still
It's hot.
here.
I'm
I'm
just
still
kind of mad that you made it. That was like the lowest one. I appreciate that you labeled
Well,
it the hot take,
to-
but I'm not.
to
I'm
me-
unsure of where you
to me,
put it
that's-
on the
To me,
Kelvin
that's the
scale.
lowest.
And
To me, that's the lowest level. I told you
Okay.
earlier there was 2 of them that had 2 flames. It was a 2-alarm fire. That was one of the 2.
alarm fire. All right.
Tra-
Can you put that in
Tran,
terms of? Can you put it in terms of Kelvin though? Like, because I don't get it otherwise.
3.64 Kelvin.
That's a really low temperature.
Why you lying, Craig?
I
You
understand
ain't got
Kelvin
to lie.
now. I looked at the.
3.64 Kelvin emoji flames.
Okay, that's negative 453 degrees Fahrenheit
Yeah,
for
that's
y'all
cold.
listening. That's really cool.
Well, and that's just cold. That's why it's at the bottom.
Fair
That's why
enough.
it's number 1.
Fair enough.
That's why it's the first one out of the gate.
Yeah. All right. Word.
Tran, real quick, what's your gut feeling? You haven't got to really let it out of late. The gut feeling on
Right.
Damian Williams, is he worth the shot?
So right away, my feeling is if they don't make a move, entirely possible what he's saying. Like, it's absolutely possible that he could do that. But everything, like everybody's gut feelings right now seems like they're going to do something. They can't just let Damian Williams run wild out there. Like, there's no way they're going to do it. But at the same time, we've seen crazier things in the NFL. So, I mean, if like Trey was saying, if they don't draft somebody like that, they have to make some kind of free agent move. Is it a guy like Latavius Murray that goes in there and does something where they end up splitting, something like that? I don't know, but I don't have good feelings about Damian Williams, but at the same time, that also could mean that he's going to go off, next year.
Well, unfortunately, as of February 26, 2019, they haven't made a move yet. So Damian Williams is going to have 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Dude, absolutely. At this point, I can't argue against it until they do something.
When
Touche,
it
Frank.
happens, I will highlight that sentence, hit delete, and it's like it never even.
Change it to 12 touchdowns instead.
Yeah, 12 touchdowns. All right. Number 2, Baker
Yeah, please move on.
Mayfield will be a QB5 in 2019. He will be the QB5 in 2019. Behind Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Not in that order. Not in that order.
So just
I
the
think-
top
I think
5
your
will
hottest-
be mixed
The
among
top
those
5.
5. Okay,
Yes.
I got you. I like that one.
I think that your hottest part of that take was buried. I think you buried the lead.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Jimmy G.
The lead's coming
Number
up.
4.
The lead is coming up.
Okay.
You ready? Are we going to the next level?
We can talk about the those QBs like
Yeah.
real quick. I mean, I think that's fair. Like they were all very young QBs, you know, and that's what made it most interesting to me. I think that like a changing of the guard of sorts, and I think that probably three of those are very realistic, and I think that most people would question the Garoppolo and Baker thing, but also those guys in Dynasty, like people are going nuts. I mean, I know Garoppolo was a top 10 guy last year, and I'm sure Baker's around there or higher right now. So I kind of love it. I honestly don't think it's hot enough. Could we pump up the Kelvin a little bit?
Wait. One sec. Gabe, well,
Yeah.
for all you guys, unless you know the answer, if you know the answer, then don't say. Do you guys know where Baker Mayfield's going in February ADP amongst quarterbacks?
Oh no.
I would.
No, Frank.
I don't know, but my guess is either 6 or 7. No, it's 5. I bet it's 5. It's hot.
Tran, do you have a guess?
If I had to guess, I'd say he's probably closer to 9 or 10.
Frank, obviously you know. Go for it. Let us know where he's going in February ADP.
He is QB 5, is he not? Right after.
No, he is QB number 4.
Oh,
QB 4.
Oh shit.
Oh, so he's moved up.
On DLF February ADP, QB 4. Mahomes, Watson, Luck, Mayfield. So the man is right now sitting above Aaron Rodgers.
Good night, gentlemen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Hey,
how come I can just see Baker like floating in front of me, just grabbing his loins, staring me down as if I'm a Kansas Jayhawk? I don't like it. QB4, come on, man. Like I love Baker, but my God, come on, y'all.
So rattle off that list of quarterbacks for me again, Frank. This is your top 5.
Mahomes.
In no specific order.
No specific order. Mahomes, Luck, Baker, Watson, and Garoppolo.
I'm with Trey here.
Dear Jesus. Listen,
I don't think it's that like, man, y'all are tripping.
All right, listen, the Jimmy Garoppolo take.
That's where I'm getting
shit.
stuck.
Hold on, Trey. J-Mike just said it's Mahomes, Luck, Watson, Baker in Dynasty, like ADP, which I didn't even know. I thought Baker was down farther than that. But,
yeah.
I mean, apparently everybody else is with me, apparently.
Well, let me just tell you a little something about historical Dynasty ADP. It's not always predictive of the following season.
Let me
finish.
tell you something about Dynasty ADP.
Like, listen, if I'm in a 2019 because I'm just a psycho, and I'm in a 2019 redraft, super flex, quad flex, whatever flex you want, I'm starting however many. I can have 6 quarterbacks in my starting lineup. Jimmy Garoppolo is in the late teens. So it's, I mean, top 5. Well, I mean, what's the guy? The guy's career high in quarterback passes is 7.
I think that's like the only. But what's crazy is like that's the only part of the hot take, and we're still saying it's like so hot. But I mean, like he labeled 5 guys to be in the top 5, and Jimmy Garoppolo is the only one we're sweating. So I mean,
well, I think DLF ADP. I think Baker's. I mean, the fact like. Top 5 Dynasty, I'm a little better with that, but top 5 for 2019 is, I mean, because Nick Chubb, I mean, dude, Nick Chubb is like the 201 and stuff. I mean, everybody expects Nick Chubb to put up, 2,000 yards from scrimmage, which is absurd.
Give it a second and we'll get there.
But real quick, before we leave this and we can move on, Frank, just so you know, Trey, to put your fears at ease a little bit, Jimmy G, quarterback 16 in February ADP.
You're funny, muted, man. Because he was literally like 8, 9, 10 floating around that, and like not much has changed. Right. If anything, like things will likely get like what happens if you've been talking about Antonio Brown or whatever, but or the Odell thing or this stacked wide receiver class, one of those guys goes there. Like, why? Fantasy's weird, man. So why does he go down 6 spots because of an ACL injury? Like, I don't know.
That happened in week 3.
It's just weird to me.
All right.
Frank, keep it coming.
Moving to the next level. Since 2009, there's been one running back catch over 100 passes. In 2019, 4 will catch 100 or more passes.
Oh, crap.
Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Cohen.
Do you guys know how many
did that? Who just did that? Hold on.
I think it was Tran.
Thank you for doing that, James.
Just poured it out. He poured one out for Frank's takes.
We need to add that to the intro. This is the opening bar.
Do you guys know how many running backs in 2018 even had over 100 targets?
I don't.
It's 4.
Like one, yeah. Like one.
He said, "Well,
that's targets, not catches."
Right.
Trey,
Targets.
This is hot takes for a reason. It's not going to be something that's easily attainable.
Just melted my face off.
Well, trust me, that's the third one. There's plenty more where we're going. All right.
Did everybody watching the video a favor?
Can you say that one more time? I wanna feel the face burn.
Since 2009, one pass catcher has caught over 100 balls, which I actually think it was actually McCaffrey last year. If I remember correctly.
One running back.
Has caught 100 balls.
Yep.
In 2019, 4 of them will do it, and it's CMC, Barkley, Kamara, and Tyreek Cohen. Those are the 4 that will catch over 100 balls in 2019.
That weirds me out. Okay. Yeah.
We moving on?
As a Bears fan, I would love for Tyreek Cohen to catch 100.
I know that one. Yeah. I'm so happy.
Give him all the balls.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought I heard, and that I was so happy that Tran poured that out. God.
Tran,
I hope y'all appreciated that out there, because that was seriously some gold. I don't know, even if it was intentional or not. I don't give a shit. Like, that was something.
Oh man.
Trey, I think you're missing the point of my Fuego takes. I put these to make it to where if it becomes if something that goes ape shit and goes off, it's going to be something really good for my Twitter. I'm going to gain 14 Twitter followers if all 4 of those guys start the ball.
Hear that? 14.
And trust me, 14. if you're worried about that one being way too hot, melting your face off, the last one, I think, Trey, you may just need to get up and leave the room. And I think J-Mac knows exactly which one I'm talking about.
I just got another drink, so I should be good.
Okay. All right. So next, DeAndre Hopkins, one of my favorite players, will catch 123 passes for 2,106 yards, 17 touchdowns.
What? How many touchdowns?
In 2019.
How many touchdowns?
17.
17.
Who's the last wide receiver to break 2,000 yards receiving?
Calvin.
That would be something.
Calvin.
Yeah.
Calvin
be amazing.
I don't think anybody's ever had. Has anyone ever had? I thought Calvin's best year was like 1,964. Has anyone ever broken 2,000 yards receiving?
DeAndre Hopkins will in 2019.
Have they really never?
DeAndre Hopkins has.
Yeah, you're right. He never got there.
Felt like this
he
was
just short.
Yeah.
1964. Yeah.
Which I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from Fuego Master.
Gabe,
Thanks.
your quick math, because you're the smart one here. Frank, did you say 126 catches?
123 catches.
123 catches. What's that average look like? 2,100 yards on 123 catches.
The yards
that would be
catch?
so insane.
How many yards is that in Kelvin?
Yeah, in Kelvin.
How many yards in Kelvin?
I think that's
probably
between
about
17 and 18 yards a catch.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's right between 17 and 18. So, yeah.
Oh man.
Y'all ready?
Coming, Frank.
All right, we ready?
Y'all sweating yet? How we doing on viewership, J Mike? Is anyone like a little concerned about
it's
what?
Probably dead. It's probably just the five of us talking to each other, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going.
The chat is go ahead.
So let's see, where's this at? Oh,
By the way, I've heard takes before where or hot takes rather, where a wide receiver eclipses 2,000 yards, and as history has shown, it just never happens. But to be fair, it's become certainly more of a offensive happy and passing league. So I don't know what I'm trying to say, Frank. I'm just trying to.
And let's be real. If he catches 123,
trying to give you a match, my man.
If he catches 123 passes and doesn't drop a pass again, it's not crazy to think.
No, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It's not crazy. All right, moving on.
I don't think the 123 is insane, honestly.
Since 2015, there's been 3 wideouts to have over 14 touchdowns. In 2019, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Williams, and Jarvis Landry will all catch at least 14 touchdowns.
Ooh.
There's only been 3 to do it. Allen Robinson did it in 15. Jordy did it in 16. Nobody did it in 17. And AB did it last year. But there'll be 5 this year.
And what I find really interesting about that, because on a lot of podcasts of late, I've heard a lot of people talking about how Jarvis's production has been the same, and maybe to some degree on a numbers perspective, it was, and I don't know particularly, but I do know I was looking at airyards.com about a month or so ago, and his the chat is so silly right now. His air yards.
I want to look up what the chat. I guess I can go back and
his air yards, I think, have doubled. I'm pretty sure they doubled in Cleveland this year versus his time in Miami. So I don't know. I find that really interesting. What do you guys think? Jarvis particularly.
That Jarvis is going to be a tough one. I mean, you have to go with the Baker thing, in your top 5, and obviously someone's got to be there with him. So I suppose that's fair, but
quick hard. Take real quick. I'm pretty sure Tyler, DHH Tyler, who signed me up for DHH about, I don't know, 96 hours ago, is regretting his decision now that he's.
Yeah, you're about to get let go already.
That's bro, right. Yeah, you already got let go in the chat. He said you were looking for work.
I'm gonna go on Twitter, and I'm not even gonna be in the group anymore. Tyler has somehow logged into my account and changed my hashtag to just Flago instead of DHH_.
All right, Frank, give us 2 more heaters, bangers. Dos Equis.
Hey,
Jimmy Garoppolo will be the quarterback 1 overall.
Holy Jesus! What just happened?
In no specific order, my ass. In no specific order, my ass.
Look, that man's a professional podcaster.
Especially Trey, if they trade for Odell Beckham Jr.
Hot is not
45 minutes ago.
Yeah, hot is not the right word.
J Mike, you don't even need to put it on the T, J Mike. Trey did it for you. He set me up.
Right. But I mean, to even make it a realistic, take it all. I don't care hot or cold.
He was on pace last year for 3,800 yards and 29 touchdowns, which would have gave him QB 5 overall.
No, don't pull the on pace out.
Yeah, I love
you. You mean the guy with a career high of 7 touchdowns passing? Career high of 7? Come on. Listen, on the handsome scale, easily a shot at QB1. In fantasy,
very high on the Kelvin scale.
0.01% chance. I mean, if Vegas was setting the odds, it would be like the teller is laughing at you. What are the odds on Jimmy Garoppolo being the quarterback 1 next year? That they're laughing. I don't think we have those odds.
I think the hottest take here is that in the last 15 minutes, Jimmy G went from QB4 to QB1.
Whoa, it wasn't in an order. In no order. That's why I did it.
I know, but you said
I love
him
the callback,
last.
Frank.
Like you
love the
said
callback.
Baker 5, and then you said 3 other guys, and then you said Jimmy. Like,
All right, I got to
I like
hear the
it.
hottest one. If that wasn't the hottest, then
All right,
but
Trey.
hold on, but no, wait, hold on. Can we just one more second on Jimmy? Just because
Yes.
like he does need like he needs something, right? Like we can't expect this to happen with Jerick McKinnon, the god, or one of the gods, rather. Kenneth Dixon's a real god. And then our boy J Mike, stop it.
Just shake my head in disappointment.
it's getting hotter.
No. Yeah. Gabe cannot quit Kenneth Dixon.
I can't. I don't know. I'm seriously an addict.
Broke back.
And Kittle, yeah. Literally, except in his lower extremities. But Kittle. So Kittle and McKinnon. We can't have J Mike's boy Kendrick Bourne. We can't just have Pettis, the consensus wide receiver 1 among all rookies from last year. It seems like everybody's jumping on that bullshit. Come on. And then Garcon's going to be let go, right? So like what do we look? They need to either, even if they draft someone like, you got to be hoping for an Antonio Brown, something to be happening for this to be even. I understand it's a fire take, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, to me, for something to be a fire take, it is still like within the realm of possibility, statistically
you're
speaking.
saying,
and like with
with
that crowd, it can't happen. It can't. You're saying it'd be like saying that Joe Flacco is the QB1.
All right, so this is to my defense. Did anybody think Mahomes was doing that last year? And you're honest, like nobody knew that was coming. Like
not necessarily, but Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and Kareem and the offense that it was around, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce.
No, and I
those
understand
4 guys, like way better than
that.
what was happening around.
But
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Trey said, all there is rumors that OBJ is going there or AB is going there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that
there's a possibility
there needs to be at least something. Like Kittle can blow up.
Oh yeah,
sure,
I agree.
And McKinnon can do his thing too. But I think there needs to be another. I think there needs to be another.
So
and
if
it's
I
not
can
going
jump
to
in
be
here,
Kendrick Bourne and Dante Pettis.
Man, stop hating on Kendrick Bourne. Damn.
Well, you brought him up, and now I'm coming at you for it. So
second on the team receiving. Go Tran.
But I
had to pause the chat here because I think this is Zach in here, Zach Reed. He said he needs OBJ and Antonio Brown to be QB1, and I think he's dead right there. Like that's the only way. The only way he gets there is if he has 2 wide receivers like that.
I'm giving him some leeway by getting one.
And again, I don't know. There's no way.
I guess
you guys are
that's
downplaying. You guys are downplaying the magic of Shanahan. I think. I'm not saying Garoppolo gets all the way up to 1, but to say that it's like remotely like insane, because I don't think that the wide receiving core they have now is who they walk into next season with. I don't know what it looks like, obviously, but I don't think Jimmy G in top 5 is as far fetched as you guys are making it out to be. But I don't know. Maybe I've had one too many hard ciders this evening.
Where's my Denzel Washington gift? My man.
Yeah, my man.
All right. So
wait, Frank. Sorry, Frank. Hold on. I know you want to fire this off so bad. I know you do. You want to get your coup de grace.
I just want to finish my Twitter career. That's all. Because apparently I'm being destroyed, which is cool. It's fine. I can take it.
So real quick, in DLF ADP, and everybody just give me a name real quick. Jimmy G or Josh Allen?
Jimmy G.
Josh Allen.
Oh God.
Without hesitation.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So
nah.
I'm also with Josh Allen here, and I know this sounds crazy.
All right, J Mike, that's enough.
Yeah, because the Bills just have such a better offense than the 49ers.
Their receiving core is easily better.
Yeah, Zay Jones and Kelvin Benjamin.
I kind of disagree.
I definitely disagree.
I just no here for me. It has to do with career arc and potential. Like I love Shanahan as much as the next guy, but
you don't. No, you don't.
I
don't
do.
Who's the next guy?
I do, but I just you have to. situations change so quick in the NFL. We've seen that, and things can change drastically. And so for me, what Josh Allen did this past year as a top 10 NFL draft pick, tons of draft capital, moved up to get him. The ability. Listen, I understand the question marks surrounding Josh Allen, but the ability to improvise and the rushing ability with absolute. I mean, and I get that the Bills are not an incredible NFL franchise, but let's not pretend like the San Francisco 49ers are. And so I just, I would love to see Jimmy G succeed, but I mean, there's a reason he was taken in the second round, right? I mean, he fell further in the NFL draft than Lamar Jackson, and there is no better indicator. Don't mention Jamarcus Russell. I'm talking grand scheme. There is no better indicator at the quarterback position than draft capital. And second round NFL draft picks just do not become elite NFL quarterbacks at the same rate or even close that top 10 NFL draft picks do. So for me, it's a historical sway. And the fact that I'm going to reserve judgment on, February the 26th, 2019 for the next 5 years on the Bills versus the 49ers. And, because the offense changes, the situation changes, there's a lot that changes year over year. So for me, the draft capital advantage and who's put up a better career season? Who's put up a better NFL production season in the NFL so far? Jimmy Garoppolo or Josh Allen? Who has higher draft capital? I mean, the only thing going for Garoppolo.
Don't do that, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Who has higher draft capital? Blaine Gabbert or Jimmy Garoppolo? Blake Bortles or Blaine Gabbert? Go on.
But I'm saying, in what way does Jimmy Garoppolo? What? Looking historically, looking back at a. What can you base Jimmy Garoppolo being better than Josh Allen on based on what we've seen in the past?
How can you base that Josh Allen's better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, I don't get that either, honestly, because sure, he was great fantasy wise because of the rushing, purely because of the rushing. The dude was at the very bottom of the league in completion percentage. He is not an accurate passer. He is fucking wild with it. It's like as if Mahomes had busted, this is what we would have seen, I think. and thankfully Mahomes has been brilliant, but wow. No.
This is so much fun.
So the thing is with Josh Allen is when he comes back from the injury, the last 5 weeks of the season, fantasy football season, he's a top 10 quarterback. Yes, the team is terrible, but they're relying on his running game and take all the garbage time points we want. It doesn't matter when the points come in fantasy football. We will take all the garbage time points we can get. He ends the season, that section of the season that he comes back from injury, he's a top 10 quarterback. Better than Baker Mayfield was during that time period, just saying.
And I'm with you, Tran.
You can't just dismiss him on that.
No, I'm with you. But this is the Blake Bortles argument. And Blake Bortles is about to be the quarterback of the San Antonio Commanders. Okay. He's not going to be a quarterback in the NFL. And if we're talking dynasty, which is talking about longevity, the Josh Allen is at this rate is not going to be a quarterback in the NFL for that long. Can we say that about Jimmy G? Maybe it's not fair to think that he has a longer career arc than Josh Allen. Fair enough, because we haven't seen a whole lot, and I don't even necessarily know what narratives to believe as far as Jimmy G, because he was drafted by the Patriots and blah blah blah. But I just don't get it as far as we can believe in Josh Allen more just because we've seen more. But what we've seen is just more playing time and not necessarily great production NFL wise, just fantasy wise. And I think at some point we have to believe that there is a crossover between that. Yes, just ride that ship as you can with Blake Bortles. It happened for 3 straight years. He was a top 10 QB, but is he anymore? No. And will Josh Allen be in 3 years? Sure, possibly, but he's going to have to certainly change some things. And right now, I just don't understand the way that he plays football as a quarterback. Like, it is just bonkers to think that he is going to be successful. It's insane to me.
I think one of the good thing is, and Frank, you can, with this, we can launch you into your stratosphere here. One of the things that I find most interesting about all of it is even with where we stand with both of those guys kind of being unsure of everything. What I find really interesting is that this season, I feel like, is going to tell us a lot about both of those guys. Right. So I don't think that it's going to be a case where both of them or either one of them can struggle this year and we still be super confident in either one. Right. So obviously Josh Allen, if he comes out and struggles, everyone, the I told you so's hit us. And then if Jimmy G struggles, it's like, okay, well, obviously he's career backup, like all these things. So it'll be really interesting from a dynasty perspective how both of those guys I obviously score for us this season. I feel like it'll tell us a lot about the trajectory of where they land. So this is fun. Is everyone good? Can we go to Frank's last point? Or
I think we've just had some believers in Jimmy G last year. A lot of us really in consensus, because he was a top 10 type of guy. And with Shanahan coming over, like, everyone was a believer. And now, because he didn't get his season, fully healthy, that he's being knocked off. And it's just, I don't know how I ended up on this podcast defending Jimmy Garoppolo, but
I don't either. It's weird.
It just bothers me that like that he was right there. And now we're just throwing him off of the boat for Josh fucking Allen. And that maybe is what bothers me most, but man, that's bizarre.
Gabe, I would like to say it's good to be on the same team.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Same side.
Well, maybe unite, bro. Cookies unite. Okay.
Maybe the reality is, though, that we were a little bit too optimistic and too quick to anoint Jimmy Garoppolo at the value. I agree. And for me, it just goes. But you can look back to since 2001. There's 3 guys starting in the NFL right now that were second-round draft picks at quarterback. Drew Brees was in 2001. The other 2 are Andy Dalton and Derek Carr, and both of them were taken multiple picks earlier than Jimmy Garoppolo. And there's obviously a laundry list of top 10 NFL quarterbacks that have failed.
It's a quarterback league.
But I just when a guy goes, I think in the 60s, right? I think that's where Jimmy Garoppolo and the spark that was seen was under the tutelage of the Patriots, which I think they could trade for Blake Bortles and have him succeed Tom Brady. And as long as Belichick stays in town, they're going to the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles at quarterback. So for me, it's the fact that the dynasty community overhyped Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, if there's anyone that can do some of the similar things Belichick did, it's Shanahan, and I'm excited to see. I'm still a believer in Garoppolo, but I think that we're probably overhyping Garoppolo a little bit and hating on Josh Allen a little bit.
I'm definitely overhyping Garoppolo. I'm not going to argue with that.
We've all been present for
Ain't
that.
No question about that.
You can't hype him any more than QB1, that's for sure. Unless you say back to back.
Anybody want to open bar bet me against? I'm very confident Jimmy G is a QB1 next season. Anybody want that bet?
No, because I'm with you.
I'm also with you.
What is an open bar bet? Because I'm interested.
We're not even sure.
Just for bragging rights, I'm in.
Yes, yeah. Just for bragging rights, we can discuss.
Hold on, J Mike. Can we talk about that for one moment? Just like, what should we do for our open bar bets? Is it any sort of apparel related, or it is the open bar alcohol related, but we have those that are respectfully sober. What can we do here?
I love that. Trey, do the Fantasy Joes have t-shirts? We
will make t-shirts. We actually have that's in
Wonderful.
The works. Yeah, Fantasy Joes are getting a shirt.
Perfect. So by the time this time next year comes around, one of us will be right, one of us will be wrong. The other is purchasing a t-shirt from the other's podcast, and you have to rock it as your avatar.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I'm totally good with the Fantasy Joe's T-shirt because I dig you guys. What up, Ryan? Yeah, so let's do that.
I'm in.
Perfect.
4-point passing touchdown.
I'm going to make a Google sheet right now, J-Mike.
Don't you start that mess, Trey. Trey will hit me with all the semantics. 4-point passing touchdowns. He's got to play at least 12 and a half games.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with injury. Like that's good, man. I'm good with it.
I dig it.
Minus 10 points per game if his last name is Garoppolo. So
FeBREWary.
Start down the hole.
FeBREWary.
Hey, J Mike, how about this, man? What about we just go head to head? You get Jimmy G, and I get Josh Allen.
Let's go. And I like and let me be clear. I think that I like Josh Allen probably a little more than most. I know definitely more than Gabe. Gabe hates him. Kind of wishes he was never born type of deal. But I was with, so prior to the year, I was talking with.
Shout out to Josh Allen. He made it to the NFL.
Gabe,
shout out to Mama Allen. Her blueberry pie's dope.
Gabe, I know you want in on this too.
Oh my God.
2-1. Come on, man. Josh, I'm taking Josh Allen. You're taking. I'll leave my avatar. I'll
give you odds.
No, I don't want odds. I want straight
Trey,
up.
I'm in.
I want straight up.
If I'm still part of DHH after this pod's over, I'll take that bet and I'll send you a DHH T-shirt if it happens.
You don't have to worry about still being with DHH because he let you go like 30 minutes. It happened in the chat.
That's true.
With DHH.
I didn't want to be the one to break that.
Yeah. Your handle has been changed to looking for work. I don't know if you've noticed that or not on Twitter. It's officially looking for work. Number 4, that is.
It'll be my Twitter handles probably after this take will be deleted for life. Is probably what it's going to be. We ready?
Bring us all.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Tran, you got a side on this?
Well, first, Frank, I want to congratulate you for being with DHH as long as I was. And second, I'm on the Josh Allen side of this. I don't have a T-shirt to sell you guys, but I'm a part of whatever you guys want me to be a part of. I'm on the Josh Allen side. Me and Trey are on the team.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Yeah, before the season, I talked with Zach from the Dynasty Gummies about how I felt like Josh Allen was hated on to an absurd level. And this is not a victory lap in the least, but I just find it interesting that he was at the lowest of lows now in Superflex leagues. Like right now, he's going as QB 15 in ADP, Gabe. QB 15. So I found that really interesting.
Make him go lower. I don't know if you were trying to up him or something, but make him go lower. Okay, what us 5 appear to all be in on something here. All of us consume alcohol?
Yes.
That is. Yes, sir.
Okay, so J Mike, Frank, and myself are on the Jimmy G side. Jay and Trey are on the whatever guy's name is.
Josh Allen.
A shot on it. Yes, a shot on it of your choice.
100%. Yeah. I'm in.
Okay, perfect. Because it seems like we all of us have an opinion at least, and we're willing to put it down. So, great, grand, fun. Wonderful. No yelling on the bus. I'm sick of defending Jimmy Garoppolo. J Mike, move on to whatever. What we had one more hot take. I'm sorry for. I went off again. Go. What's next?
All right. So for the last one.
Love you, J Mike.
No team has ever had this happen. In 2019, well, since 2009, when I went back and looked, no team has had this happen. In 2019, there will be 2 teams who have a top 5 scorer in each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. The Chiefs, with Mahomes, Williams, Hill, and Kelsey, which isn't crazy. And the Browns, Baker, Chubb, Landry, and Njoku will all be in the top 5 of their position.
The official team of the open bar. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm. Look at Tran and Trey. He's like, no.
Frank, before we get into this one, The only thing I can tell you is that Jarvis Landry is your Kyle Rudolph.
Yes,
No,
I love it.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're sinking with that boy, but you're done, man. That's
He is my Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah.
He is. I'll give you that one.
You got time. You got time before the season starts to change Jarvis Landry.
No.
It's early. It's only February. Only a month before the season starts here.
Nope, not changing it.
Oh man, that's a
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how far because
I don't hate the Chiefs. I don't hate the Chiefs one if they don't do something.
Yeah, the Chiefs one minus Williams is not ridiculous, but this is how far we've come. So last year, I made a statement on the Fantasy Joe's podcast that the Browns would have a top 18. This was hot at the time because the Browns were a dumpster fire last offseason this time. And when they picked Baker Mayfield at 101, I said that the Browns would have a top 18 player at each position. And it was considered to be a pretty hot take at the time. So just amazing to me because I've kind of adopted the Browns on the Joe's podcast. I've adopted the Browns. I love what they're doing. I love the picks. And I mean, man, they're going to win that division in the next 24 months. And even with that, I mean, the Chiefs, I could see hitting that. I think it's still a huge stretch because top 5 is, I mean, no offense, Frank, but like there's a line between like hot takes and just throwing shit against the wall and hoping something sticks. And that, like, I mean, the Chiefs is like top 5 at all 4 positions is pretty hot. The Browns, I hope that you hit this, man. I hope you're right. That would be unreal.
Hey, I said Landry was going to have 14 touchdowns, and if he does, he could be top 5, right?
Oh, no doubt. Heck yeah.
I think Njoku touchdowns in this. I mean, I think Njoku could definitely be 4 or 5 in the tight end position. Chubb's not far off. I don't think Hunt's – that's a whole different subject for a different day, but I don't think Hunt's – I think he's just there for Dorsey to trade him after his suspension's over. And I got Baker's my QB5. So that's why that team is in there. And I believe that if the Chiefs don't draft a running back, Damian Williams can have a great season with a full season behind that with Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey. So to me, that's not – I knew for everybody else that was going to be the hottest take, but to me it's not really that hot of a take because of the things I think Landry and the Browns and Baker and Chubb and Njoku can do with that offense this year. They're not the cellar dwellers anymore. Like, this team's going to be for real. You know? Like you said, they're going to win that division in 2 years. 24 months.
I think they win this year. I think the Browns win that division this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's – I mean, I don't remember the number, but they've got a lot of draft picks this year. And I know that, from the fantasy community, we're kind of down on this draft class. Man, this draft class is deep when it comes to contributors at the NFL level. Maybe it's not quite as robust as years past as far as the quote-unquote skill position players. But when you start looking at offensive line and edge rushers and, positions, linebackers and defensive backs, players that matter to the real NFL, this draft class has some legitimate talent, and the Browns have a real opportunity to continue to load up. So I think the arrow is pointing straight up on that franchise. And as we know, man, the Steelers are a train wreck. The Ravens, I think, have a lot of question marks, and I don't know that there's really another team in that division. I think it's just those 3, right, Mike?
Facts. Absolute facts. In gay preseason, wasn't it the case where we were looking at ADP and we saw like 6 Browns in the top? What was it like? Or 5 or 6 Browns in the top, like 110 or something crazy. It was wild.
We didn't feel
I really hope
good
that one hits.
That.
I really hope that one hits. That will be so much fun. And that would be the biggest trump card you could carry around forever.
Oh yeah, for nobody to ever do it, for me to call the 2 teams that do it, like that'd be. But let's be real, like this stuff that I come up with is just off the wall. Like it's something that's attainable. Like if Like if DeAndre Hopkins just goes fucking ape shit this year, he could get to 2,100 yards, 17 touchdowns with 123 catches. You know, all 4 of those running backs are capable of catching 100 passes in the offenses they're in. I mean, it's fucking crazy to even think about this on paper, but there's some of them like that's what I love to do. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to make everybody's Twitter, when y'all arguing over DJ Metcalf, 47 different threads on Twitter, something for me to put out there to give people that are tired of hearing about him. You know,
who's DJ Metcalf?
DK Metcalf. DK. See,
I'm with you. I mess with you.
But yeah, I mean,
no,
it's definitely it's what I do. It's my thing. I'm the hot take guru of Fuegos. So I enjoy. Look, I take all criticism. I take all the criticism. I love it. It's fine with me. Trey, I still love you.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Like, I'm still kind of mad at the Damian Williams one. I don't mind that one that much.
It's just because you're still bitter about Damian Williams' discussion from weeks ago. Anyway, Gabe, we're at the 90-minute mark. Let's do this.
All right, let's get out of here. Okay. David Montgomery, because he made me think about Damian Williams again. One more thing. Since Combine's happening this weekend, real quick, between you 5, is he run? Because I saw someone on, I don't remember who it was, but it was a prop bet on Twitter of where his 40 was going to land, and it seemed like that people were thinking he'd run a something larger than a 4.6. Does he run less than that, Montgomery? Just real quick, what do y'all think? And not
less
like this is the be all end all of his success. I'm just bullshitting at this point. It's February.
No, I predict that he does not hit the 4.6 mark. I think he's 4.62, the Kareem Hunt number.
I hate you for saying that, but yeah,
that's a good over under number. I like that. I'll say 4.5s. Man.
Yeah, I think he's going to run in the high 4.5s.
Yeah, I think that's a good number.
He may run one in the high 4.5s and run. Don't they run 2 of them? Did they run 2 of them in the combine? Yeah,
2 or 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he might run 1 in the high 4.5s and 1 in the low 4.6s. I mean,
right?
It could be 4.59 and 4.61. Like, I think that's a perfect number for him to be around now.
Yep, you guys said it. I think that's the perfect number. I think that's right around where he hits, and kind of like what Frank said. I think he gets one that's maybe a little bit lower and one that's a little bit over than that.
I mean, the moment that he gets 1 is the moment that he.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, is the moment that he gets 1.
Yeah,
so.
But I think it is. I think it is really close, though.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, I think I'm not the hugest Montgomery truther out there, but I certainly think he's going to run faster than 4.6.
I think draft capital.
But I'm so mad that you just did the Kareem Hunt thing. God, that bothers me. But it's a good take. Okay. Well, we have that combine this weekend. We'll maybe talk about things that we know or don't know. Do we? I'll talk to you about that later, J Mike. I can't wait. Just something to give us fuel, fuego per se. To
Gabe, are you still like distraught that you had to defend Jimmy G for 15 minutes on this podcast?
I can't stop thinking about the man. I cannot stop thinking about it.
Oh,
J Mike, you had a bit of a Kawhi laugh there. All right. Yeah. No, I'm so happy that you came on and said all of the things that you said, Frank, because it fires everyone up. It keeps the conversation lively and fun.
Apparently, the chat said I've had the most intense. I've created the most intense open bar of all time. That's my Samoa co-captain, by the way, Jake Anderson, shooting that hot fire out there.
The tweeter, intense. Formerly known as NFL Draft Talker. I like
my
that guy.
Samoan. He's my Samoan brother from another mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, see how it
Whatever.
goes full circle, J. Mike? We start talking about
I'm not talking
Samoans,
about
and we're gonna end on them.
It's
We're
going to
not
be
talking
the
about
cookie
circles. We're
formerly
not
known
talking about cookies. Okay.
I'm done.
Listen, everybody out there, I some of my favorite leagues right now in MFL. Jake Anderson did the design, the logo, the team logos. The guy does some amazing work. So if you're not following this guy, if you're not tagged in, I know that Mark in Minnesota does some great stuff, or Michigan, I'm sorry. It's a few too many bourbons. But Jake Anderson is the guy that I go to for every league that I'm doing design work. So, complete aside.
Fantasy
him up.
graphics.
Beautiful stuff, man.
Mark in Michigan, also good. He hopefully he's not listening or is shouted out or will ever listen to this pod, because I'm sure I don't know the beef between Michigan and Minnesota, but I know that two states that start with MI cannot have, ties that are exactly tight. So way to go, Trey.
Yeah,
we're just trying to keep our Minnesota and Michigan fans, relatively happy with each other.
Gabe, Peter Howard said in the chat that he said Jake Anderson's not the tweeter. The Twitter, the tweeter, the teeter.
The teeter, indeed.
The teeter.
The teeter.
The references live on.
The tea-pocalypse.
I know.
It's living wild.
Okay. We shall let everyone go here, but we'll give everyone an outro of sorts. Frank, we will start with you, and you can start with your hottest take about yourself and with the lowest take, but please go in terms of Kelvin, because I don't feel like you abided by that rule the whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even look it up yet, so I don't know. I appreciate y'all, you and J Mike, having me on. Love the show. I always listen to it every week, even though I don't always chat about it. In the chat active. Glad I could blow up everybody's eardrums, especially Trey's and Trans and everybody else in the chat. Again, this is just the earliest takes. I'm sure I'll have some more come after the combine and the draft when we see where some rookies go. And I appreciate everybody taking the time out to watch, listen. And I know I was blowing it up on Twitter, trying to get everybody as many people as possible to come over here and watch. But I do appreciate everybody and appreciate the criticism and love y'all.
What's your handle?
It's it was at DHH_Fuego takes. I'll have to
wait. What? Oh, never mind. Oh, the Tyler thing, because you're fired. Right. Gotcha.
So
understood. But just change it to the Italian version. We need to look that up. I think you should go with you do you. But no, thanks, Frank. Seriously, it was seriously a blast, and I don't care how hot they are, how cold they are, how relevant that was. They were all beautifully constructed, and I enjoyed talking about them. So thank you, my man.
Thank you, man.
Word.
Jason Tran, the Tran man. I don't know if that's a good thing to say necessarily, but Jason, what's up, dude? Do you have anything to share with us about, things that you have going on?
I don't really have anything to plug. My handle is at Jason Tran, Tran. The only things I can say about tonight is thank you for having me on. Frank, there's still time to change off Jarvis Landry. Just think about it for a few months. And Trey, go team Josh Allen.
After your break from podcasting, I'm really disappointed that's the hill, right?
I'm never going to be let on this show again. The third time was like, that's it, you're out of here.
That's the platform. I mean, that's the platform that you take after your time away. I am so wildly. I love you, Tran, but I'm wildly disappointed that's where you want to go. Not the Minnesota Lynx, not.
At least I didn't have to listen to Derek all night. That's all I can say.
Shout out to Derek.
I
miss that
love
Canadian
Derek. He
fool.
does that.
Oh, he's good people.
All right. That's enough of you, Tran. Trey Barrett, your name is like one of the few that actually, exists as far as first and last name on Twitter. Like, not people are either allowed to do that or just do that in general because they want to say DHH_Fuego takes or something like that. But you were just Trey Barrett. Would you like to share something about yourself or possibly how intensely your wife is staring at you from what you said about 2 hours ago now?
Well, my wife went to bed quite a while back, and
I can imagine after you said that. Yeah, she would.
She looked at me. She's like, "Did you just say that to one of those dudes?"
Yep.
I was like,
"Yeah."
Listen, it's been a pleasure, guys. I woke up this morning feeling dangerous. I don't know. I just woke up feeling dangerous.
And Fuego, man.
Listen,
you see how much Baker he had in his takes?
Frank, listen, man, love it. I love the takes. It's hot. It's diarrhea, and it's hot diarrhea. Tran, listen, diarrhea. Dude, I love that. I love that. I love that we're on the Josh Allen bandwagon for 2019. It seems pretty scary, but I'm all in. I'm waist deep in Josh Allen for 2019. J Mike, listen, man. I told you I was going to give CMC a good home, and then I shipped him off to Followell. And I feel really bad about that. I feel like I kind of betrayed your trust. I feel like maybe tonight we've taken some steps in restoring that trust. I still got Cam. I'm still taking really good care of him. I'm going to bring a title in the Kamikaze in the coming 20 years. Gabe, it's been fun, man. This is my first real interaction with you. I love your flow. Some of the stuff you're spitting is hot fire. And it's a different hot fire than the stuff that Frank's putting out. But this has been
I hope, man.
It's been fun, man. I look forward to a return trip in whatever capacity. You guys are a blast. This has been one of the more fun podcasts I've recorded in my illustrious career.
All right.
I just want to say I made the best out of my only time that's going to ever be allowed on the open bar. So I appreciate J. Mike and Gabe for bringing me on that one time in February when there's only going to be 14 people listening and not in August after preseason.
There's still 14 people listening, bro. What do you think this is? No, equal thanks among all. And between Trey and Frank, typically on the open bar, it's not so much a first and last time that you come. So I'm quite certain that it'll happen again. Would you agree with me, J. Mike?
Without question. I am. I can't. Between how everyone signed off just now, I can't even get myself together. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't even know, Gabe.
You want me to switch roles? You want to switch roles for this one?
Yeah, let's do that. Sure,
yeah,
go for it. Right. It's Black History Month. Let's do that.
Oh, you want to go there? It's February. It's February. This is the last one you get, J. Mike. Okay, and then next.
One and done, bud. One and done.
All right. Well, now, perfect. Hey, to the chat that exists, sort of, maybe. I peeped it. I peeked in there for a moment. I'll be honest. I looked and I said, "Hey, it exists." I didn't chat whatsoever, but I did see to make sure, because what bothers me is from on my end. I don't know what they did with Google Hangouts, is I can't see who is exactly viewing. So to me, it looks like no one is viewing, which is probably realistic at times, but I just don't feel all that great about it. So I went and peeked in the chat tonight, saw some people in there between Aton and Debro, I believe. J. Mike, you can say some quick words to prove that the chat, in fact, exists. I said it.
It exists. Here you are. Sweet, sweet
Jake says Gabe has 754 whiskeys this past week. God, how true is that, my man? Yeah, quick shout out to all the people that I met up with in New York, because that was a fascinating time. I just am continually astounded by the people that I come across, whether it is through a webcam or in person somehow. My mom was legitimately freaked out that I was kidnapped and taken to some fantasy football basement where who knows what they'll do to me. They'll just punt Samoas at my back for hours. I don't know. But it's all good, Mom. It's Twitter. It's 2019. We're in good hands. Okay. We're in Michael Thomas's hands. It's all gravy, baby. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to everyone in New York that came out to that. It was so much fun. Shout out to you three specifically that came to join us tonight, between Frank, Jason, and Trey. Like I said, it's not going to be the last time. I can guarantee that. I don't give a shit how cold your takes are. I don't care how much you think about Josh Allen. I'll let you talk about him more. I'll probably just let you come on to take that shot later on this year. That's what I'm going to do. We're yeah, or the t-shirts. We're on podcast platforms. Spotify is the first one that I can think of. iTunes is another. Podbean is another. Stitcher is another. J Mike might have to throw me the dish to assist me on another. Is there another one out there? Stitcher. Yeah. Okay. So go and find us on there, rate, review if you feel like it. We also have some shirts, some t-shirts, hooking up with Store Envy, theopenbar.storeenvy.com. We kind of been keeping it live with whatever we've been doing the last few weeks. We got the Wubba Lubba Chub Chub. If you're feeling titillated, you've got that too. If you're getting extra about your cookies, go ahead and do that. I actually got to post those. So apologies on that one. I've been living that New York life. I am at FF Man Bun. My better half at J Mike Check. We are a part of Fake Pigskin. This is where you have to do this, because I literally forget our show's handle every single time. The Open a Bar FP.
There you go.
Okay, I thought I knew it, but I was just making sure. At the Open Bar FP. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to our people out at Fake Pigskin. Okay, thank you for putting us on. We're here every gosh darn week. J Mike, this is what you say, but I'm gonna say it for you. Take us home.
It was so much better than I do. So much better than I do. Guys, it's been quite the night. The night is over. The bar is closing. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of Hangouts. So to everyone, again, thank you guys for joining us. Please remember to rate us. So everyone who's in the chat right now, take out your phones. Throw us a quick rating on iTunes if you check us out there. Share us with a friend that you haven't had the chance to share us with yet. Say something crazy to us on Twitter, just for the sake of saying something crazy on Twitter. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Everyone, get your drinks up, whatever you may be drinking, whether it be a can of something, whether it be a bottle of something, or whether it be an air fist. Trent, anything? Nothing? No? All right. This has been The Open Bar. Thank you guys so much for joining us. With that being said, FeBREWary, we're closing the book on you. And deuces.